It was a Reddit feed where men asked each other for life and dating advice, of which my eyes poured in looking for the chisme. Who were these men that circle us gals like sharks eager to bite our meat, but forgetting that there is a soul in this sack of carne? Had they known I followed them? I'm sure the men would say, "Get your vadge out of here," yet I loved that forum because it confirmed what I knew. Men feel as lost as women, and for the same reason, their humanity. Any advice for a nice guy? At I Have Allergies asked. Just by his name, I could tell it was not only his sinuses that needed a Claritin, it was his soul. I feel like I'm too nice in this world. I take care of my family, I take care of my friends. I'm so lonely. Even when I go out, I feel like I carry how much I help others, and I do not feel funner for it or appreciated. My social life overwhelms me, and I wonder if that is why no girl likes me. Do they see I'm tired? Should I stop being so nice? Naturally, my bleeding heart opened up. My father loved harming people. There was a rush he received at knowing that he could manipulate people's mental health against them, because he was a king of words, and those are powerful. They do not call it spelling for nothing. His words were how he perceived he cast spells to cover his crimes, the multiple identities, businesses, and families he would make through the years with plans to selectively abandon and abuse each one. Knowing how evil men can be and how they can use their privilege to cover their darker personalities, sometimes it made it hard for me to remember their humanity as well, especially because they are the creators of war, genocide, and famine, of which women are the greatest victims of. Nothing like getting killed in a fight you did not start to make you resent, well, the one who started it. The responses to the man were mixed. Some guys thought he was a fool, ranting about loneliness, and another modern loser pouring his feelings of existentialism in chats made to encourage people, not depress them. At Dad Warrior gave him the best advice, which was to grow better as a person means not to get trapped in words like nice. Are you patient? Are you kind? Do you love as much as you wish to be loved? It was quite moving, of which unlikely to listen, real names, add unlikely to listen, backed him up, saying that some people, even if family, do not deserve our niceness. And if you give the best of you to the worst people, eventually you become worse for it too. This was my harshest lesson my father taught me. Nobody ever became better for believing or helping my father, which was what was so painful. He was my dad and my abuser, and no matter how hard I tried to separate the two, I could not help but feel either one would take a part of me. If I embraced he was my abuser, I lost that part of me that was his daughter. But if I embraced he was my dad, I ignored the part of me that was his victim. So I stayed nice and wondered why through the years, even when going to a bar to hang out with friends, my brain still carried his voice telling me, no one will love me. All right, let's discuss, let's heal. So there's these, I love Reddit forums for men because I love, I love I have such a weird relationship with watching like hate videos, right? Of people being racist, of people being classist, of people being sexist, of, observing people that by all means do not check the same check boxes that I do and might even think that don't even deserve a check, let alone a box. But my life has taught me that no matter what the label you cling on to, no matter what societal, social identity you swear by God you are, at the end of the day, you really are human. And one of the most difficult things I've had to accept is that kindness, as much as malice, can look and be labeled in any way. It comes in every shape across the board. And what that means is, I think sometimes we tie too much to our labels, in part because we're malicious, that there are people who are malicious, like my dad. But I think there's also a level of, will they protect me? If certain people are always racist to me, then I'm going to stay away from those certain people, right? And I'm going to notice that they often look like this, and they often talk like that, and they're often from this location. So I'm never going to travel to that location. Like it's this concept of somehow I can protect my heart from breaking. But then what if your best friend is from that location and looks and talks like them? Like you just, there's a baseline to humanity. And I've often thought what my father taught me was whether it was your oppression and your pain or your privilege and your access, it's your personality that decides how you use and weaponize them against others. And so I'm at this forum, I was reading it, and at I Have Allergies, the names. My God, the names. I can't believe I overthink titles when these are the names of handles. I'm really, like, I'm working way too hard. Um, he goes on this little mini rant of which all the hate comments called him a ranter. Um, and he was like, I'm just tired. Like, what do I do? Because I'm emanating this energy in the dating world. Like I'm trying to be nice and I'm trying to be generous and I'm trying to attract a good girl. And it's frustrating me because I go out and I'm trying to be the best version of me and I really want somebody, right? And but yet when I go home, I'm answering to family and friends and all these people in need, my job. And it's like, are they reading that? Or is there some type of energetic aura field that says, hey, I'm extremely exhausted, need a drink, date me? And one thing that I think he was failing on multiple levels. I liked what the guys answered to him. At Dad Warrior, I think he wrote about how apparently dads are at war. So thank God for Dad Warrior. At Dad Warrior was like, one thing I'm trying to teach my kids is to have more nuance. Like, you're not nice. You have to be kind. You have to be patient. You have to be respectful. Like, virtues mean something. You have to be loving. You have to, listen. Like, do you do all these things that you swear make you nice, that often are associated with niceness? Helping people that burden you isn't exactly nice. It's just a recipe for burnout, which is where at Unlikely to Listen came in. And he was talking about like how he felt chained by his own family and how he cut them off, and like to really analyze like if your kindness is riding on how people who use you, you've got a really distorted definition of kindness, because A, you're not being kind to you, and B, they will not see you as kind. Like, they're not going to thank you. There's a quote, never help a broken man back up, because he will humiliate you back down. Like, in the concept of that is that it was talking about, women who help and save and lift up these jerks that think that are crumbling and are broken, and when they finally feel repaired, they suddenly start to humiliate and badger and beat down their woman. And what I find fascinating about that concept across the board, and it's something that I've had an experience with my own family, is this feeling of what my father, one of the cruelest things about him is that when he was down, he was a sick, lost puppy. Like, there was something about his sadness that just opened your heart to bleed. But when he was up, he was the cruelest, manipulative, malicious. And I think he was always manipulative and malicious, whether down or up. But there was something about when he was in his highs that it's like, now I could finally reveal, I want to hurt you. I want to stab you. I want you to crawl. I mean, he was extremely, extremely judgmental for a man that was a con and a criminal. And I think that part of that is why he was so good at scamming. You do, it's almost like you have to shut your humanity down, and you have to judge your victims so that A, you don't see yourself as a victimizer, and B, you silence them. Like, how dare you? How dare you come at to me, you who don't even talk to your own mom? How dare you say I have mommy issues, you know? And what I found interesting about the whole discourse was I really felt with him that his family was exhausting him. And all these responsibilities he had to thankless people, his job, his friends. Like, I it's tricky when somebody like completely hates everybody and everything in their life, because is this, either way there's a you problem, and is it that you have accepted horrible people and in turn have not seen that they